the sound of that, the sound of success. Welcome to another brand new episode of the TikTok Podcast. And of course, as always, you got your two favorite co-hosts and two most favorite people in the world. Eduardo, I got my boy here, the White Rhino, and we're here in the virtual studio. Yeah, little change of scenery, as you can tell. It's green because it's the color of money, which we love. Well, its value is not going to be as, I guess, any value, but, you know, it is what it is, right? They say they took when did they take the gold standard from it? Drop us some knowledge.
We got off the gold standard in 1971.
There
Richard
we go,
Nixon.
See? There we go. Walking
Then
Google.
We went to what's called the petrodollar, where the gold or where the oil would then be the worth of the dollar. And now it's monopoly money.
Oh, ain't that something, dude? I mean, it's like in reality, in the grand scheme of things, your dollar ain't really worth nothing, or your $5 ain't really worth any shit. It's just imaginary, I guess, right?
Yeah.
In retrospect, like in retrospect, right? But yeah.
And get this, I'll drop another fact. 40% of all the money that is in circulation right now, 40% of that was printed last year.
Oh shit, really?
Ouch. That's not good.
You're like, coincidence? Sip.
Well, I mean, you know, that's something that we all like. For anybody paying attention to like economics, we're like, okay, this is not going to end well. But here it is. You opened a can of worms just by having a green background. I played it safe and said it reminded me of Hulk, Incredible Hulk. You know,
I like the Hulk. I like the Hulk.
And the thing is like you're playing it safe, right? And we were looking at our stats, we were looking at our numbers, and I noticed something very peculiar about, I don't know, a certain region that has been adding some stats to the Tip Touch views. And I would just like to say hello to the FBI listening to us from Washington, D.C. I see you. Dude, use a VPN. And, you know, and the reason why I can be as cocky as I am is because we aren't guilty of anything. Yes, we talk about cocaine, but guess what? You guys aren't throwing anybody away for cocaine. Yes, I think Biden is the worst president of our probably the history of the United States. And it plays out worse and worse each day. What are you going to do? All right. I just didn't vote for him, and I have the First Amendment to say whatever I want on my podcast that I share with my homeboy Eduardo. So if you guys are listening and you guys are playing games, just stop. Stop.
Maybe they were the ones fucking with your internet. You know, actually, that kind of makes sense now. Actually, we're tying some knots here. Actually, we're gonna do a little group mystery problem solving here. Obviously, if you've actually caught our previous episodes on video, you can tell that we've had internet issues. So we probably know that maybe they were fucking with our internet. Conspiracy? I think not.
and I'm just gonna put it right here, the record. If my airplane goes down, I'm on my way to Washington, D.C. And if my airplane goes down from Denver to D.C., everybody knows whose fingerprints is on it. I want investigators watching it, and I want it to trace all the way down to the deep state. All right? You heard it from here. You heard it from me first.
Well, what's interesting, though, on a side note from that, there's our actually most listened to state out of the U.S., and we definitely want to give a huge shout out to all the people up in Virginia. Hey, shout outs to you. We appreciate you taking the time to listen to our podcast over there, download and all that. Very much appreciative. I think it's so cool that, you know, we see all these different areas that are listening to the podcast, and it just blows our minds. Me especially, because I always tell my boy, you know, off the pod, I'm like, I think it's so dope that, I mean, that we could definitely just, you know, give you entertainment. I think this is what it's all really about at the end of the day. Give you entertainment and get you through whatever, you know, maybe you're having a horrible day at work or a horrible day in general, where, you know, you can keep some good laughs with the boys. Yeah, make it worse or make it better. Either one. But definitely, I think we definitely wanted to give you a shout out to all the people in Virginia listening to us. Salute, much appreciated for sure. But yeah, aside from that, side note, you were talking about actually you're gonna be on a little vacay here next week, and you're gonna be out of state. We'll say where you're gonna go, so they won't be able to track you. But I mean, are you stoked overall? Are you excited for that?
I already said where I was going.
Oh, you did? Did you really?
Yeah, I said if my plane crashes, and I said where it was going from where to where.
My bad.
So yeah, no.
Sorry, my
Yeah,
eyes.
no,
Sorry.
I'm totally excited. This is it's daddy daughter time, and we're
Right on, right on.
spending some time with the school, so the teacher gets to meet me in person and realize that my daughter really does have a dad in her life. Unlike half of the students. No, I'm just kidding.
Jesus Christ.
I'm kidding.
Oh, we're on that level today. Oh, dude, fuck yeah. I am looking forward to this episode for sure. Okay. No, but yeah, my bad. I honestly thought for some reason we didn't say where you were going to go because sometimes we like to keep stuff on the DL here on the podcast. But yeah, I mean, you've been talking about this for a good while. I think you're going to have fun, especially when you're going to be with your little girl. So you're definitely going to have to tell us when you come back and see how it went and everything and just see, give us an update, So definitely your boy here is going to take realm of the next episode that we're going to record the weekend that my boy is gone. So stay tuned for that. More to those to come. We're going to switch it up a little bit and I might have some special guests on the next episode, but we'll see. Still trying to kind of figure out and tie the knots on that one for sure. But yeah, brother. I mean, aside from that though, I want to ask you, like I always do, how are you doing today?
Hey, I mean, I'm doing good. Just normal stuff. I finally got some time off of fucking work. Jesus, dude.
Same here, man. Same here.
I do. I like. I fucking work way too much, and like, I don't want my kids to end up on heroin. Like half of the parents that I see. That like, and I'm not even joking. Like, there's so many people who are like thinking, oh, we can just work all these hours and make all this money, for this company that just like pays us and whatever. I won't go into all that. But I mean, very low in comparison to what, I don't know, the execs get paid. And and for the hours that we're there, and like they force you to be there. It's not like you volunteer to be there. You are goddamn forced to be there. And you see the stress on everybody's face, and then the kids get older, the kids get used to not having mom and dad at home. Drugs are fucking everywhere over here. And you see these kids get strung out on drugs, and then mom and dad are both working, and they're just like, oh, I just wish there was something I could do. Yeah, you can fucking work less, but you can't. That's the thing. The obvious answer is work less. You can't unless you quit. I wish that there was something, other than filling out stupid FMLA papers and taking the loophole approach to get time off, fair time off.
Yeah.
God damn. What are we, the fucking 1920s again? Jesus Christ. But anyway, right? Other than that, I want to show off this shirt, dude. You gave me this shirt on my birthday. I tried to wear it on our last episode, and I haven't washed it since just because I'm afraid to put it in the washer. But dude, you gave me the flyest shirt, like this snowboarding Sam Squanch, and then I added Pit Vipers on his little snow goggles, and I gave him a gold tooth.
Yeah. Can't really see I didn't know about the gold tooth. That's awesome, man. It's a good addition.
Yeah, so he's keeping it real. So,
keep it a G.
Aside from my whole tangent there, I think we need to go and ask you how you're doing.
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. Definitely enjoying finally a weekend off. Definitely, spending time with the family and just a little time to recharge the batteries and get back at it. And you're right. I mean, I think maybe some more employers should definitely offer like maybe a 1 week family time leave, pay time leave out of once a year aside from your vacation or sick time. I'm fucking down with that. But are they going to do that? Nah, they're not going to. They want to
learn how to
save
do the fucking
money.
Job in 40 hours.
Yeah, right.
40 hours. Good. Go with your family. And then make the overtime voluntary, right? Like, hey, yeah, you know what? You have some overtime whores and they love to work it. Let whores get it, right? the time, right?
Yeah.
But let the people who are just like, hey, you know what? I'm kind of happy with my 40-hour paycheck, and I'm gonna spend time with my family before my wife starts cheating on me, and my kids start hating me. You know what I mean? That's just real shit. I mean, it fucking happens all the time. And then we act so surprised when it does, and it's like, well, were you ever home? Fuck no, I wasn't. I was fucking working.
This brought back, so the way you always say these like detailed scenarios brings me back to a moment we had, and I want to bring this up because it was like, for me, I'm like, the time and thought and just detail that you described this scenario was just like, you thought about this more than twice. I can already tell. And the question was like, shout out to our boy Brad. He was on our podcast and before. You can check his stuff out at Spot the Fire. He's a reseller, flips Jordans and all those cool, all that's cool, those cool sneaks and clothes and all that stuff. But anyways, at work, since we're mutual friends there and employees, he said he asked a question, what would demoralize you as a man? And if I can recall vividly, you were like, if I were to get a phone call or FaceTime message or a FaceTime call, and I see my wife just getting like, this is verbatim what you said, and I'm not making this up. And I remember it because it was so fucking like, whoa, dude, you put too much fucking thought into this. It's not gonna happen. Don't worry, man. But you were saying, dude, that picking up a FaceTime phone call, my wife's just getting plowed, and as soon as she hangs up, like she climaxes, and the dude just goes. I'm like, what the
yeah. Yeah.
I was like, what? I'm like, yeah, I mean, that would fucking get me pretty pissed too, but it's just like random. Like that was like the first thing on your mind.
Not pissed, demoralized as a man, right? Like what would, as a man, what would be the most demoralizing thing to ever have happen to you?
Christ. Yeah. Oh man, yeah, definitely.
That's the first thing that came up.
Oh man, don't worry, buddy. It's not gonna happen. But I mean, with all this OT that they pressure you to do, I mean, never say never, right? That's how the quote says, or that's what I've heard before. So never say never. So yeah, man.
Definitely. Whatever. Hey, and the one thing I can say that I love about doing this virtual podcast, at least we don't have to waste our gas.
Oh, dude, I know, right?
Fuck, somewhere, I know. Right? Like, oh my God. Like, it's so funny. I was thinking about that today.
Yeah.
I was driving my car, wasting shit tons of gas, and
exploring it.
Yeah, just like, just octane and CO2 going everywhere. It was like you'd think I was a farting cow in a pasture, just destroying the ozone just with my little 4-cylinder monster. But yeah, so I was thinking, I was like, it's so funny because here we've been locked into our houses for like 2 years because of Rona, right? and now we're about to get locked in our houses again because of
gas prices, right?
Inflation. Yeah.
Isn't that crazy how that works though, right?
So like right now I'm like on this I've been going on shopping sprees. Like I'm like, fuck, we need to stock up on all this shit. Like what do you call it, non-perishable food items. So like shit that like when the inflation like literally gets us to the point where we can't leave and or afford food or anything, I'm like, I've got my pantry just stacked up ready to go. It looks like I'm preparing for Armageddon. I look like all my Mormon neighbors. Like Mormons, if you don't know about them, like not only do they have 10 wives, but they also have
whoa.
You didn't know that? Oh,
I've heard of the 10. I'm like, you just got me at 10 wives. Like, damn.
Like that was the reason why Utah took so long to become a state, was because they were like, well, we're a Mormon state and we just don't agree with monogamy. And so like forever they held on to like wanting 20
That's
wives.
Crazy. That's
but
wild.
Aside from that, the other part that the Mormons do is they are always preparing for the end of times, Armageddon, whatever you want to call it. And so they have this habit of just stacking food. So if if shit hits the fan, look for all those preppy kids that dressed up in those white suits and the black ties. Go to their houses.
They'll be ready. They got stocked and everything ready to go, baby.
Don't come to mine, though. I'm like, I've got all kinds of heat. So I got some heat for that ass, and I ain't afraid to go to hell. So
oh shit. You're definitely on one today, and I love it. Oh, dude, let's just keep fucking stirring the pot on this one, dude. Click, clap, bat, bat.
God damn. What happened to that boy?
Dude,
I've been listening to shit tons of gangster rap,
dude,
like 90s hip hop. Been listening to all, dude. Biggie had me. So on March 9th, that was his anniversary. He died in 1997 on March 9th.
R.I.P.
And every March 9th, I make a habit of listening. He is like, I love Tupac. Like Tupac is the one I listened to more, and I just loved what he did. But goddamn, if I gotta listen to some lyrics, I am listening to Biggie. Like he just fucking tore it up. So anyway, and I just like, give me the loot. I'm just like, he puts me in the vibe. I was just like at work, just cranking it,
dude, fucking just letting it go.
My white coworker, he's like a country boy. He got really nervous because they use the N-word a lot. It was making him really nervous.
He's all
And
looking
so
sideways like,
he's
oh
like-
shit.
He unplugged the massive speakers because we have a couple of massive speakers to where the whole
Yeah.
area can hear it, and so he literally unplugged it so only my speakers were rocking Biggie.
He's like, I'm having no part of this, and I'm good. Just fucking step it
I can't
aside.
do
dude.
this.
Oh my god.
Go back to George Strait, motherfucker.
Oh fuck, yeah, you're right though. You're right. I definitely forgot about that. They were posting a lot of stuff in regards to Biggie being the anniversary, right? Yeah, it's crazy. It's unfortunate. Obviously, we lost some of the greats like Pac, Big. So definitely, it's a sad thing. But you know, the show must go on. So you were bumping a lot of Big that day, right? You're saying you're fucking just back to
God.
back, and then I think you told me you played some ODB. So I mean, hey, you mixed
That
it
was
in
the
there a
next
little bit.
day.
Oh, that
Yeah,
was the next day. Oh, okay.
After March 9th ended. March 9th is just dedicated to Big. That's just the day that I give the man his props. And I wasn't a fan only back then, but then as I grew in hip hop, I was like, man, there ain't no denying. This is like, it's like Jordan. I don't know, man. It's like I don't know, man. It's just hard because like Biggie was so great, and I refused to recognize it back then because I just loved like hit him up, just killed it. I couldn't support Biggie. I couldn't support. I could support the hell out of Mace though. Something
Murder
about
Mace.
Yeah,
dude.
Yeah, P. Diddy made me pretty. Did it for the money. Now can you get with me?
That was the
People
line right
wanna know
there.
who is he? He gets busy.
Dude, that's crazy though that Kanye actually like looked up to Mace too. Like fucking like he was a huge fan of Mace. And I'm like, damn, I can't really see that, but I mean, hey.
What female wasn't though?
Yeah.
I'm kidding.
What female wasn't though? Oh my god. Oh, dude. This
You
is
guys, I'm
definitely-
just talking shit today. That's all I'm doing.
What would you mix up in that? What's it, La Crest or what? Like, what's that drink called? The little
Oh yeah, LaCroix.
LaCroix, La Crest. No, what
Yeah,
was that
I
one
had
thing
an
I said on that
intervention.
episode? You're like, it starts with a Z, and you're like, what was that? What was that drink we were talking about? You're like, you're way off on your letters. It wasn't a Z, but it was an X or something like that.
It was Zion's.
Zion's,
the energy
Zion.
drink. Yeah. Yeah, I get why you thought I started with a Z. Oh,
Oh,
I'm not a
so
hater.
many good times, dude. So many good times. I think on our 100th episode, we're gonna have to drink like try to make a little montage of videos of just like the most fucking like what the fuck did
we're
these
getting
guys
there.
just say? But it's crazy to think, man. Yeah, we're already almost at 100 episodes, which is it's
Yeah.
crazy. Like it doesn't even like I think this goes in reference to when they say. When you do something that you really enjoy, which we do enjoy doing this, and it's been quite a bit of a journey itself because you don't just wake up one day and say, oh, we're going to do a podcast. It was just literally most of like, fuck it, why not? Let's do it. Let's see where this takes us and let's just go on this journey. But to think that we're almost at 100 episodes, it doesn't feel like that because we enjoy doing it and we have fun doing it. So and that's what they say. Do something that you're going to enjoy doing it where you forget that it's actually considered quote unquote work or
Yeah.
anything like that. So I
Yeah.
think it's just, we enjoy doing it so much that we just can't believe we're already at 100 episodes.
could you
It's
imagine?
just wild.
Hey, Brett, it's time to do a podcast. Fuck.
Start kicking shit, I don't want to fucking do it. God damn it. Dude, we
bullshit.
wouldn't even, definitely see that's where your just mentality of that just, it goes out the window and you just don't want to do it.
I see it as like sort of like an outlet where you have all this pent up aggression and rage, and then
Yeah.
like as long as you can like put a comedic tone to it, where people like they know you're serious, but you're delivering it in a way that doesn't appear to be serious.
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, that's pretty cool. He's crazy, but it's still funny.
I still enjoy it. I'd rather it be them than me.
Yeah, just watching Brett's downfall.
Oh, dude. It's like he's getting
the
worse
tragic
every
comedy.
episode. Every other episode, he just gets worse and worse and worse, man.
Yeah.
Along with me, like, dude, it's like this dude can't read worth shit because I know I stumble a lot when I read sometimes. And some of these names, I'm like, what the fuck, dude? I swear it takes me back to high school days sometimes, man. I'm like, don't pick
dude,
me. Don't pick me to read.
I was listening to the last episode. There's a couple things I want to say about the last episode that we did with Elia Pritchard.
Oh, yeah. Shout out to
shout
Elia
out to the
Pritchard.
Rebound Way and
Exactly.
all
Shout
that
out.
fun
Shout
stuff.
out.
But it's like I was listening to my interview style, and I was like, Brett, what the fuck were you on? Like, I told myself, you know what? Next time you do an interview, you need to at least have a couple of shots in you, because
Yeah.
like I kept stumbling over my words and I couldn't find the words that I was looking for. And
Yeah.
like I came off really rusty, and I'm like, man, I hope that that people listening to that, like, it doesn't turn people away from the rebound way. I'd feel really horrible about that. Like, here's our guests are taking their time, and then I just butchered the interview.
Right.
Like,
Uh-huh.
well, where are we going? And then another thing too, I was listening, and I'm like, I felt really bad for Christian because it almost sounded like I slighted him, and I didn't mean to. Because the instant that I'm going back to is when I was talking about, we were talking about what our view of a life coach was,
Hmm.
and we know, like, Christian, he went off and he did the life coach thing,
Hmm.
and the way that I delivered it, it almost sounded like, if I was Christian and listening to it, it almost sounded like I slighted him, because I was like telling Elia, you know, hey, I know you're doing it for the right reasons because you got your masters and this and that, but there's just, some people that just don't,
Yeah,
like, they don't
yeah.
have any education behind them, and they just jump into it. And I just, the way that it came off is like, because right prior to me saying that, I was talking about Christian doing it. So just for the record, I don't want people to think that I slighted. I don't want Christian to think that I slighted him. I think what he's doing is great. He he literally burnt that ship down, that he had to force himself into that path, and what he's doing is great. I've talked with him about his coaching stuff. I'd love to have him on the show, but I just yeah, it didn't sit with me well when I heard that replay, and I'm like, oh man, that just that didn't. So I just wanted to fix that real
Clear the
quick.
air. Yeah, for sure, for sure. Yeah, man. I think it was definitely, going back to that episode. And if you haven't checked it out, please do so. All major streaming
Yes.
platforms. Go to our Instagram. We have a direct link in our bio that can actually take you to every platform we're available on, video and audio. So go check it out. And shout out to Elia for coming through
Mhm.
the Rebound Way. Check her out too as well. But I thought it was a cool episode in regards to just, we're definitely, I know a lot of people like to listen to from the analytics that we looked at. People love it when we have just guests on here to kind of just
Mhm.
go back and forth with, which we enjoyed as well. And just to get back into that moment of just, just seeing what different people are on their journeys. And obviously with Elias,
Yeah.
she's, a life coach, is seeing that perspective and actually having her explain kind of the ins and outs of it. Right. So, cause I was curious to know, you were curious to know, and I bet a lot of people out there, they probably heard of the terms life coach. So it's like, you're curious to know. So that's why we wanted to do it and just kind of get the information out there in case somebody that does want to go through something like that, some life coaching themselves, they can actually have resources to go to and possibly get some help. So I think, if we can get
Yeah.
at least one person, right, to where they need that type of help. I mean, we did the due diligence enough to where we can actually guide you and steer you to that direction. So I feel like, we did
Yes.
good injustice with that. And it was really interesting because it did get me like thinking about some of the stuff that I got going on, like obviously we were talking about fatherhood, talking about both our daughters, which by the way, that little clip you put up on our Instagram was gold. Just how you dealt with your little girl's cut.
Yeah.
Like we're gonna have to chop that finger off.
You know what though? That's funny that you mentioned that, because we were at the trampoline park today, me and my daughter, and I actually
Okay.
thought about Elia when I was there, because Izzy's crying. She lost a ball, right? There was a
Okay.
ball she was throwing. And another kid found it, took it, and she just starts crying, meltdown. And I'm like, honey, go get another one. It's no big deal.
Yeah,
She
yeah.
just kept crying. And then it brought me back to Elia, where she was like, no, get into their heads, talk to them,
Mm-hmm.
communicate with them, find out what's going on in their head. How are they thinking about the situation?
Yeah, yeah.
So I did that. I sat down with little Izzy, she, tears running through down her face, and I said, honey, what's upsetting you so much right now? And she's, says the ball, right? Very simplistic terms. And I said, okay, so the ball's gone, and that makes you sad. And she goes, yes. And I said, honey, I said, I understand that, and I would be sad too. But if you go get another one, there's like five more over there. Go get another one. We can keep going. So, and that's all it took. Like
Mm.
it was so surprising at how it made a difference in Izzy when I when I just said that. I sat down with her, and I listened to what she had to say. So she got it out of her, and she was validated in feeling that way,
Yeah.
and then it was so cool. I was just like, dang, Elia, that's cool.
Yeah, man. Sometimes they say it's like this, even the simplest things to where you gotta approach it kind of like the most obvious way, I guess you can say, but your mind is kind of like over processing things sometimes where you make it a little bit more complex. For me, especially, like that's kind of like my personal way of how like try to deal with certain things where it's more, I'm making it more difficult than what it really should be. When in reality, like you're asking the basic questions, the simple questions, like, what about this makes you sad? You know, there's 5 other balls here that are, you know, the same thing. Like, could we just use those instead and just kind of, you know, pursue with our day and continue on having fun? You know, simple things like that. But it's like,
Yeah.
damn, sometimes you need to look back. It's like, damn, man.
Well, my initial, like, how I would have responded normally,
Yeah.
had we not had that conversation with Elia, like, honey, there's 5 balls there. There's literally no point to cry.
Right.
That would have been my
Yeah,
approach. It's like,
straight up.
you know, don't. But she wouldn't have been validated her feelings, and she wouldn't have been able to get it out. She would have just cried there and just saw me just getting upset with her.
Yeah.
You know, so that was the difference. And I was like, wow, what a score.
Yeah, you got fucking,
You know?
you got coached up. Hence, put me in, coach.
That's what it is. Yeah, right. Yeah.
Let's go, baby. Let's go. Well, that's good, man. That's good. So let's move on to our you know, off the tip segment where we just talk about the
baby.
most randomest topics that obviously that's going on within our world today. And I got a few here on deck, and you know, we're just gonna go one of them one by one. But one of them being, actually, it was a sad day for Seattle last week, and I think I've already talked to you a little bit about it, but we want to discuss about it here on the Tip Deck podcast. And of course, we're gonna relay this to sports, football in specific. So everybody knows by now, Mr. Russell the Muscle Wilson is no longer a Seahawk. He is taking the flight and going over to Denver, and he's actually officially a Bronco. So now, you know, the news broke out, right? I think it was my brother-in-law. He shot me a text, and then my wife shot me a text. And honestly, you know what? When I read about it, and just because there was a few little articles saying, yeah, the trade's going to go down. We're still receiving more information. Me personally, I'm like, you know what? I'm not even surprised at this point because I feel like things haven't been the same the past couple of years. And just from what I've been seeing, I don't know, man. I mean, the team itself needs a little bit of a rebuild. So I think this is their first move to do that. And, you know, that's going to free up a lot of cap space. And it sucks, man, because, I mean, Wilson got us our first Super Bowl ring. I mean, we could have had 2, but it's like, you know, he definitely took the team to a different level. So, I mean, we can't sit here and say the guy didn't do what he had to do to really put us up on a pedestal and put us up there, you know, and be one more less of a team that doesn't have a Super Bowl ring. So it sucks, man. But I mean, what do you think, bro? How do you feel about that when I told you? I mean, you might have found out too from other, you know, on the news or whatever, but what did you think about that move? Like, were you as a person, I mean, I know you said you vividly kind of follow it, not too much sports in general, but just kind of what's your thought about it?
You know, I had predicted in a previous episode that he would be in Atlanta because Sierra, you know, that. So I had a pretty good feeling he was going to leave. It's definitely sad. Like, you know, he's so good, but at the same time, like, I understood what made the Seahawks great. I mean, dude, they got Russell Wilson in the 7th round, right? He was a 7th round pick. And so they got him at low dollar. So there was a better spread of the money to where they were able to get really good yet talented players that fit within that budget. But then I noticed that when they paid Russell Wilson just you know, I think at the time it was the record, right?
Yeah, it was the highest most for a quarterback.
Yeah, which now goes to Aaron Rodgers for
I believe
200 million,
so.
right? But
Crazy.
but when that happened, I was just really nervous about, okay, well, where does the rest of the money go? You know, and then all of a sudden you saw the defense was just not 2013 defense at all.
Yeah, LOB, baby.
You know? And he was just getting just pummeled, and I'm like, you know, he needs, you know, it's just not working anymore. So I could, and then, you know, I was hearing rumbles about you know, just tension on the team, on the field, and from the other players, and you know, and I get it. I mean, it's natural, but where I want to take it with, because, you know, I'm not the sports guy, what I loved and admired so much about Russell Wilson is every Tuesday he would go to Seattle Children's and spend the day with those kids. And like that's the type of stuff that was like, you know, he could be doing anything he wanted with his life, with his time. And yet he dedicated that every Tuesday to Seattle Children's for those kids, and just made some of those kids the best memories they'll ever have.
For sure.
And so now, I think they're the ones that are going to be crushed the most. Is hopefully he gets to stay in touch. Hopefully,
Yeah.
but at the same time, now Denver, if they have a children's over there hospital, he'll be able to do that and give that gift to those kids.
For
So
sure.
I think that's an exciting thing.
Yeah, no, definitely, man. We definitely have to give him kudos for doing that type of stuff on his off days. He does, he does visit Children's Hospital in Seattle and spend times with all those kids that are ill. So definitely, that was an awesome thing that he did. It's gonna be weird, man. Though, like in a sense of just the Seahawks next year. To see the team without number 3 out there being our QB, it's going to be a whole change. And I think it's going to be a ripple effect in regards to, season tickets or just tickets in general to go to a football game were super expensive. So now I feel like things are going to be a little bit more less inexpensive. But then again, of course, they're going to gouge you for like the high end price for food, drinks, parking, and just, overall, gas. So definitely gas. But it's going to be a different thing, man, next year. So I don't know what's going to happen, but just for a little detail on how the trade went down or what we're getting in regards to the trade for Wilson, just to give a little brief synopsis, I guess you could say, or whatever, of just how that went down or what comes with it. So we're going to get quarterback Drew Lock, a tight end Noah Fant, and defensive lineman Shelby Harris, and they're going to join the Seahawks as part of the trade. And we're also going to get 2 first-round draft picks, 2 second-rounders, and 1 fifth-rounder. And Denver is, of course, getting Wilson along with a 4th-rounder. So it's a fatty trade, man. They're saying it was actually a big trade package in regards for one quarterback. So I mean, that itself, but I mean that it just comes to show that I think Denver has a solid team where they just need a quarterback in general, and I guess they've been chasing him for a good while. I think last year they were talking about it. So I mean, this was in the works, and I think it's kind of almost funny though, like when they asked, Pete Carroll, like if they were thinking of shopping Wilson around, he said, we're not looking at that option, but lo and behold, this is what happens. And also, we didn't just lose Wilson, we lost Bobby Wagner.
Oh, he's gone too?
The same day. Dude, that was crazy. I was like, what is happening right now?
Dude, I'm not even going to know any of the Seahawks anymore.
Yeah, dude.
Remember when we always used to wear like Seahawks gear every Friday?
Blue Friday, yeah.
Now it's just like I don't see anybody.
No, dude. There's no more of that. The blue wave is not there anymore, man. It's like you were saying, you just rock a plain out wife beater, a white one. That's it.
Yeah, white beater and a cigarette. Hey,
cigarette butter burns on them all over.
You working this weekend? Fuck yeah, I got designated.
Instead of flicking it, you told me one time, you're like, instead of flicking it with my finger, I flick it with my tongue.
Chewing on my cigarette like it's a toothpick.
You swallow it instead of flicking, you can swallow it. Oh fuck. But yeah, man, that's what's gonna happen to our lovely Seahawks. It's gonna be a different picture next football season, and yeah, man, it's unfortunate, but that's just the biz, man. They coughed up money for him, and there you go.
What do you think that's gonna do though with the team? You're more
dude, I think
onto that.
We're gonna rebuild. Obviously, I think the main objective for this is to rebuild the O line and get some good defensive players. And the question is now, like, we don't have a fucking quarterback, so I would think my guess is for those 2 first-rounders, we're gonna get a quarterback and maybe somebody on the defensive line. But then again, it's like you need help on the O line as well. So I know for sure we'll need a quarterback for sure. So I think that's gonna be a primary goal for the Hawks to get.
2 names that stand out to me, and I would love to see either one come in. Colin Kaepernick or Tim Tebow. I
was like, are you being serious right now? I swear. I was going to be like, you're fucking kidding me, right? Hey, by all means, if they're going to put him out there, it is what it is. But I don't see that likely. I don't know why. Tim Tebow is, he's an anchor, isn't he? Like at some sports show or whatever.
I don't know, man. All I know is that he just really sucks.
No, he got injured pretty bad. I mean, everybody was saying when he was on the Cowboys, oh, it's our year, and he got fucking injured. And then little did you know he retires like that year, I think, the year that he got injured. So, oh man, but yeah,
put a mic in your mouth.
Now, a lot of one name that I've been been seeing a lot is the Deshaun Watson. I think they were saying they want us to proceed to getting him or whatever. But I don't know, man. I really don't know. Right now, it's kind of too early to tell. I'm just really curious to see how the team's going to look next year when it's like finally game day, first game of the season, and just see how we're going to look. And man, it's going to be, I don't know, man. No bueno. I'll say that. But yeah, man, that's a little on the sports tip of that. But yeah, man,
it's too bad. What was that fucking janky ass team that we had? Remember they had the XFL, right? Isn't that what they
whatever
call it, the
happened to them?
XFL?
Yeah.
Oh, they ran out of money, dog. That was like
Really?
right,
No
right at the
shit.
beginning of COVID. I remember COVID hit, and it was just like, dude, they needed it to go perfect for that thing to work. And they launched it right at the beginning of COVID. Like, good night.
Yeah. I
was
totally
just
forgot
really-
about that.
Well, I was excited about it because I'm like, oh, finally, maybe a game I can afford to take my family to. You know? I don't know.
Dude.
What was their team? The Seattle
I forgot, dude.
or the
Honestly,
Dragons or something.
dude, you hit me with a fucking like a fucking right uppercut that I didn't see just didn't see coming. I really don't remember, dude. But yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, whatever happened to that team, or whatever happened to that whole? It just
I
completely
think the
died
whole
out.
thing it just went defunct, and just
Oh, they're
Look
the
at Drop-
Seattle Dragons.
Dragons. They were the Dragons.
yeah.
Dude, I
Oh,
was so
damn.
close to getting some of their gear, but I mean, they just suck so bad. Like I'd watch them play, and I'm like, this is worse than watching the Seahawks. Like, I don't know play the Chargers. This sucks.
So I actually am looking at to see if there's any 2020 season that's done. After that, it shows nothing. So yeah, that's pretty much
R.I.P.
Yeah.
Get the what was that one league where they had all those like hot girls playing for a while?
I don't remember that. It was like a flag football type deal.
I don't know. No, it was like tackle football, but it was like they had all these like hot chicks playing.
I don't remember that. What were you watching? Dude? Holy shit.
Probably you porn.
Oh fuck! I don't know. I don't recall that, Brett. No, that's I have
It was
to
like
low
in
key
the
Google that
early
in incognito mode.
2000s. Like I just remember all these like girls with all these like shredded bodies and then like war paint on their face.
Wasn't it like
It was-
rugby? I might remember
No,
like
it was
rugby where they
football.
football, huh?
It was
I don't
football.
remember, dude. I don't remember.
Just
If
looking
anybody
all
that's
tough.
listening to the Tiptix podcast, please let us know. And I've really got any info on that. Chicks football. I really don't remember, to be honest, dude. So yeah, I'll have to Google that though on the off time. So we'll get some answers definitely.
And then
keep going. No, keep going.
But
Keep going.
I just want to. There's one more sports related thing that I want to mention before we go into
Okay.
something non-sports. Eric Adams, he's the mayor of New York
Okay.
now. Did you hear what he says about the baseball major leagues?
No, I don't think I've
Okay.
heard about this. All right, fill
So
me in. Talk to us.
He is throwing it out there that he wants women to start playing in the major league, like women and men.
Okay.
So he wants to see women and men playing in the same league.
In baseball or football?
Baseball.
Okay. Okay.
So like, think about those home runs. Maybe if you got like that swimmer that never mind.
Oh yeah.
That swimmer that got all those awards in the women's sports.
Yeah. I know what you're talking about. I know what you're talking about.
But I will apply the brakes. But y'all know where I was going with that.
Yeah, I think we might have to make a Patreon on that one. For those little clips, we'll have to fucking definitely put a Patreon. It's gonna come soon. I mean, we're definitely gonna have to hash out the details on that and see if we can even make more extra content for us to be on that end of the spectrum in regards to just the unfiltered shit. But yeah, so that's interesting.
We could go raw doggy on it.
Oh, dude, Ra's law, like they say, right? But
right.
that's interesting. So he wants females in Major League Baseball, pretty much.
Yeah, like not
okay.
cheerleaders.
Well, didn't they say there was actually a chick that was trying out for the NFL team? I don't know how far that got. I don't know if they just
It never
put the
goes
brakes on
far,
that.
dude. It
Oh, okay.
never goes far. I mean, just
Yeah, they go far.
you have the whole WNBA, right?
Yeah.
And everybody has to like pretend like we're all excited, like, oh, look at the achievements that they're doing. Oh, look at they won. Throw any of them against a men's team, and it's different, and it sucks. Like if you have daughters, it's great. It's like gives them something to look forward
Yeah,
to. But dude, they are not competing the way that men compete.
yeah.
It just doesn't happen. I mean,
Different levels, right?
Dude, I mean, the funniest thing that we saw growing up in Montana was the women boxers. And, and the DJs that were doing it, they were ruthless, right? So whenever the women boxers would come, because they'd fatigue real quick,
Yeah.
like 10 times quicker than a dude. And so they'd know that, okay, about 30 seconds in the first round, they start wearing out. So then they'd start playing this really slow music.
Oh,
and,
oh
these
shit.
women are just throwing the slowest haymakers, and it just was in sync with the slow music, and it was just perfect. But that's basically what it is. I mean, hey, it's I'm all good for women wanting to compete and wanting to do the sports, but when they're talking about making the money that men are making, um the whole thing is that wage is generated on viewership. And WNBA, women's sports, people are just they don't that they're not hungry for that, right?
Yeah.
Because you don't see the same competitiveness that you see in NBA when
Yeah.
Michael Jordan has the flu in Utah and he's still fucking playing,
Yeah. Yeah.
Like you just don't see it. You just don't see it. And you can't convince me that it is as competitive. I mean,
Yeah.
maybe it's competitive with women, but it's not on the level of men. And it
Yeah.
just never will be. And people just have to get that fantasy unless they force it down our throat. And then we have to, right?
Hmm.
They like say, okay, by law, you have to do it. But then people are just going to tune out. So do what you want.
Yeah.
I don't care.
And
As you can see, I'm not the sports guy anyway. I
yeah.
don't even watch it
Yeah, true. Same
unless
here.
they
I
start
mean,
winning the Super Bowls.
they will definitely tune in. Yeah, I think that's crazy though. In regards to you're saying the WNBA, I bet everybody's probably heard this story already that they actually have in Russia. There's this WNBA. I don't know what team she plays for, but she's actually they're keeping her over there because she got caught with some type of. They're saying they found some drugs in her or something in regards to like something with a vape that they consider illegal to the airport. So they pretty much detained her over there, and now she can't get back
So
to U.S. That's
I've been
crazy.
thinking about that. So there's a
Okay.
difference between when you have like liberal countries such as the United States, we have lax laws. We don't give two fucks about weed, about vaping, about any of these, but you got to understand when you're going to
Mm-hmm.
these communist countries, that are run by dictators,
Yeah.
you can't play the same game. Like, everybody in America freaked out when the one guy, Warmbier, went to North Korea
Oh, Adam Warmbier.
and
Yeah.
was defacing or tried stealing a poster and doing all that, and then they like act surprised that they killed him. you know
Yeah.
and
Ugh.
then even in the 90s when Singapore, the one kid got like 50 lashes for littering.
Oh
And it's
man.
like, yeah, because we have New York, right? We look at New York and we're just like, that's one big trash bucket. Like everybody litters in New York, so that's
Oh,
just a
dude.
thing,
Free
right?
reign.
And so, and then so you go to Singapore where literally there's no trash and then so they give him 50 lashes and everybody's all freaking out. But dude, this is what happens when you go to communist countries. You can't play by the same rules. You have to understand the culture. And that's something that Americans are really shitty at. We think we're better than everybody. We think we're above everybody. And we just feel super entitled. So I think it's good for people to just get a little bit of Russian action, whatever's happening in Russia with, just follow the fucking laws, follow the rules, and you'd be amazed. You'd be
Yeah.
amazed.
I think like you're right. You definitely have to do your homework and your due diligence to know like the places that you're going to and be sure that you're gonna. It's like a whole different world. Like this ain't America if you decide to travel outside the states and all that. So I mean, but it sucks obviously in her situation. Obviously, from what I read or from what I've heard about it, they said it was like one of those things where like it was like almost accidental where she had it in her. She had something like with something in regards to a vape or something like that in her bag, and somehow she forgot to like I guess take it out or dispose of it because she was coming from some other place, I think some other country, and she was going.
Isn't it always accidental though?
Yeah, I mean. It could be just like, oh shit, I forgot. I had my fucking. I mean, I'm a forgetful person, so that's something I would fucking do. I know that. But knowing that, like, if you're planning this ahead, though, like, you would definitely have to be aware, like you said, different circumstances and different strokes for different folks over there on that end, especially now where how things are
Yeah.
transpiring. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, and okay. Shouldn't have been your first clue. Like if you are in Russia or Ukraine, doesn't matter. But if the whole embassy, if embassies are getting wiped out, don't you think that maybe you shouldn't be there as
Yeah,
well?
that's
Like,
what I'm saying. Why
where
would
do
you even
who
go
do
there
you go
anyways?
to
Yeah.
if there's no trouble? And I mean, I'm sure people are thinking twice now.
Oh yeah.
And no matter how woke you are, it's not going to change Putin's mind. It's not going to change the Russian government. You can be woke to no end. It doesn't matter. They don't care. They don't play our game.
Yeah.
And
Different.
so
It's
if
a
you're gonna
different thing
go
over
there
there,
and you're
man.
gonna make rubles, and then you've got to kiss the ring. You've got to follow the rules. You got to follow the laws. I'd never be stupid like that. That's
Yeah.
that's really stupid.
Yeah, it's fucking crazy though. It's things, just how things are playing out right there. It's no bueno, and I mean, hopefully this shit fucking settles down, and if the dust settles.
Yeah,
So
I want lower gas prices, bro.
yeah, I want to be able to go fucking just waste gas for the fuck of it and just do what I do. You know what I'm saying? Leave my car on just for the fuck of it. All that jazz. So
Yeah, sometimes
man.
like when we go on walks, like I'll let my daughter walk on the sidewalk and I'll just drive right next to her just to burn the gas. Just to burn the gas.
Isn't that some shit? It's like, dude, oh my god. Did you see that? I mean, on a side note, let's fucking go on a different track. They were talking about how people are siphoning gas, but they're actually drilling holes through your fucking gas tank to get the gas out now. I'm like, what
Dude,
the fuck
I know,
is it
I saw
coming
that. Yeah, you get like gas, whatever, like what, 10 gallons, anywhere between 5 to 10 gallons, 20 gallons, whatever, however big the tank is. But then it costs the owner $2,000 to get it
replace
replaced.
the gas tank?
Jesus.
Oh, what is the world coming to? First, it was a catalytic converter. Now it's gas. And then also, what I've seen, obviously, I don't think this is real. I mean, it's just a meme making fun of the situation. There's this guy rolling up to a gas station. It has their prices, and there's actually somebody on the side corner slanging gas for lower prices in little gas stations. I'm like, what the?
I saw the meme.
Oh,
that
shit.
said, my wife wanted me to take her out to an expensive place to eat. So then they show them sitting at a fancy table in front of a gas
A
station.
gas station, yeah, buddy, yeah, man.
Yeah.
That's the one thing I think, to make light of anything. That's the good thing about the internet, right? Where you see all these memes and all that, and try to make light of the day, and just, like you said, humor kind of gets you through these just whatever tough times people are going through, and they make fun of the situation. But I mean, in regards to that, it's like, California, we saw it first. I think that's where I noticed that gas were like, dude, $6 or $5. I'm like, holy moly! Now it's $7. Oh Lord.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's crazy, man.
And the thing is that this current administration wants us in electric vehicles. The problem,
Yeah, baby, there it is.
the problem with that is that electric vehicles cost $65,000 to get. So like, okay, you're in North Dakota, you're in South Dakota, you're in Montana, you're in Wyoming, and you live in your single wide trailer that cost maybe 20,000,
20 bucks.
and now, Daddy Biden wants us in electric vehicles. I mean, dude, there's no plan. There's no plan for this stuff, and it's just insane. So here's my theory, though.
All right, let's hear it.
So
Spencer moment right here.
yeah, I haven't heard anybody say this, so this is really like from me,
fresh
so it could
off the
be
top.
completely wrong, but this could also be why we're getting so many listens out of Washington D.C. So Biden has been really like, okay, so the GOP, the Republicans, conservatives are like telling Biden, you need to start tapping into reserves, right? Like American reserves. We have so much fuel, and you can lower the prices. But instead we're going to Venezuela. Saudi Arabia said no.
They said hey,
right there, right? So we tried going to Saudi Arabia and Iran, or not Iran, Venezuela, and we have sanctions on them. So they're trying to work out a deal. But nobody is talking about getting it from our own land, and we have like a ton of land, a ton of oil. Well, anyway, so then I was thinking, well, why is that? Other than what a lot of people believe is that they're just trying to force us into electric vehicles sooner than later. The other option is probably the military, who's just war hungry, the war hawks. They are probably whispering in Biden's ear, like, hey, if this is World War III, which fucking we could be,
yeah,
we need those oil reserves for the military. So I think
Okay.
that's probably why they're not doing it. I think they're really, really, really preparing for World War III.
Ugh.
And it's again, this is why I'm stacking up on my non-perishable food items, and the whole works. Is just like, guy, get everything now. It was so funny because I got a text from somebody who I told him a year ago, or like earlier this year. I was saying, hey, prepare for the inflation. There's just all this COVID money that went out. Inflation is going to hit. And this is like before Russia invaded and all that fun stuff. And sent me a text about a month ago, still before the Russia invaded,
Yeah,
the invasion. And he goes, dude, you were right on the money with all this stuff. And, even a year ago, I was stocking up on stuff like deodorant, shampoo, like stuff that I'm like, okay, it's pretty cheap right now. So I'm just
Yeah.
going to go ahead and get some extra stuff, because if it's extra, right, I have to start pinching pennies. I don't want to like be pissed off that I have to buy $15 shampoo when I'm used to like $3.79,
yeah.
Suave. And
So, if you want to know what Brett uses on his luscious hair, there you go. That's a little fucking
yeah,
tip
coconut
of
Suave, baby. But I mean, it was just already happening, and it's just so crazy. But yeah. So, and as far as like the Russia invasion and all that, everybody's like, oh, pro Ukraine, whatever, dude. I know that I had posted Zelensky up, but dude, the more and more research I did on this, it reminded me of like the situation. Like, say you get like the Bloods and the Crips fighting,
Yeah.
and here you are, you're not a member of either gang, and you're just like, holy shit, that's really bad. Like, they're killing each other. That's really sad, but you're like, at the same time, well, I'm not supporting either one of them, because like that's between them. That's between them. And that's what I see Russia and Ukraine as. It's like they're not, Ukraine is not a NATO nation, and it's really not our fight. It's not
Yeah.
our fight, but there's a lot of complexities and nuances to this stuff that goes way back. But I will say, for the people listening in Washington, D.C., I think Russia has a few points, not saying they're, I'm just not saying I'm on their side. I'm not, again, I'm not on either side, but from the outside looking in, and you're talking about the biolabs that, like, I sent you a picture
Yeah.
with the screenshot saying that like it was the day that it was confirmed that we have biolabs in Ukraine. And then in the same screenshot was all the news people saying it was fake news, but it was really confirmed.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, okay, Russia, I think, has a point here. If they have biolabs and they're studying all these crazy diseases and their next door neighbor, listen, if I find out Russia's working with Mexico and they have biolabs in Mexico, I'm not going to be one bit sad if America starts bombing biolabs. I'm not sad at that. I'm not mad at that at all. Right. I understand. That's what I think is going on. So anyway, so I just don't want, people to think I'm on Zelensky's side. I think he's a tool. I'm not supporting Ukraine. I'm not supporting Russia. I'm supporting world peace.
Yeah.
And I just think that we got to let those guys figure it out. And I think we need to get the fuck out of it. But since we do have biolabs, it means that we are doing some dirty, nasty meth lab shit over there, like the analogy I was talking about.
Yeah.
And I think that now we're fucked.
Yeah.
So that's why we aren't using our oil reserves.
It's
to make a long story longer.
I think it's a slippery slope though, right? Because it's like, yeah, I'm definitely on the end of just, I'd rather have peace and, everybody just get along with everybody. Cool. Everybody stick to their own ends. Cool. We'll let it be. It sucks though, when you do see like all the casualties that, all the people's lives that are ending up in the midst of this, right? Where it just, we're talking about like children and then just innocent people and all that. And that's like the unfortunate sad part of it. Right. But it's one of those things too. It's like, I feel like the U.S. always has to play police and like they have to be kind of like more like they're sticking our noses into stuff that really doesn't really pertain to us, I guess you can say, right? But obviously the more the truth comes out, like, like you were saying about the biolabs, like why is it that all of a sudden now that, we do have stuff going on in the Ukraine that we're doing under just in the shadows, I guess you can say, right? It's crazy though, because all that stuff, it's like, our tax money at the end of the day, or who's paying for that? You know what I'm saying? That's the type of shit that I would want to know. Like, who's funding this? Why and how? So
Yep.
it's just a fucking it's really a complex, I guess, situation, I guess you can say, because all this stuff's been happening even before me and you, even before all this shit, right? Maybe this was going on before the COVID days with us fucking doing some shady, scandalous shit over there in Ukraine, and now it's kind of come to light, and it's just gonna reveal itself. So I don't know, man. I think it's just it's unfortunate that you have to have people's lives tethered within all this. You know what I'm saying? I think that's the sad deal at the end of the day, right? But I mean, I don't know. I don't know if there's going to be a solution. It doesn't seem like there is, because I guess like the last thing I heard was that they had their talks about just ceasing fire, but nothing good came out of that, and it's going to continue on, right? So
Yeah. And
sucks.
for people like, okay, so if you go to YouTube, a lot of stuff about the stuff is censored on YouTube, right?
Yeah.
But one person that is not censored yet on YouTube is Russell Brand. Do you know who he is?
Russell Brand. Yeah. He's an actor, right? He was an actor, right?
Actor, comedian.
Yes, he's a comedian. Yep.
So I've been watching a lot of him, and he really breaks it down in a way that is so digestible and understandable for people. So I would recommend people who the way that he breaks it down, it just really shows that at the end of the day, we, like the world people, the world general population, we're all like being held hostage by these governments that are like they're fighting with each other, and we are basically the human shields for our dirty and corrupt governments. And so we just need a great awakening to take place, to replace the Great Reset, and so that we can the people of the world can take that power back. That's another one for you, Washington, D.C.
I feel like we're in a radio show back in the early 90s, like during the hip hop fucking dissing era, and you're just calling them out, like you're coming into a fucking in their home turf, in their home station or popular radio
just
station.
Wait till they start fucking with me. Wait till I'm on some sort of no-fly list. Like I go in and I try to get on an airplane, they're like, can do. No can do.
Oh, dude, you're gonna have to definitely stream that, and we can watch that via live, and we'll put it up on YouTube and just see the truth itself just fucking coming to fruition. Hopefully not, like I said, hopefully not. But no, definitely. I hope they're fans more than anything, right? Small fish, a big pond, right?
Big fish in a small pond. Yeah.
All right. But aside from that, I mean, we'll move on to our next topic.
Yeah, we should.
And of course, this has to do with the metaverse. Obviously, we've talked about this multiple times here on this podcast, but I feel like this is where it's going. And there's actually two topics that I'm trying to mold into one, right? So the first one is they're actually going to hold this wedding. It's an Indian couple that will marry in the metaverse with thousands of guests, including a ghost of the bride's dead father at a Harry Potter themed wedding. An Indian couple are set to marry in the virtual reality metaverse in the Harry Potter themed wedding with the ghost of the bride's dead father in attendance. So their names, I'll just say their names. They're pretty long names. So I'm gonna say their first names. Dinesh, who's 24, and the fiance Jenna Gandani, who's 23, will hold the online ceremony on February 6th. Oh, it's already passed, right? February 6th, yeah. With thousands expected to attend the first wedding of its kind in the country. Lockdown restrictions in their state of Tamil Nadu would mean guests could not attend his ceremony in person. He told the Times, I know couples have been getting married on Zoom, but I wanted to go further and be the first one to have my reception inside the metaverse. I also wanted to introduce the metaverse to Indians. Padamavtai advertised the wedding to its followers on Twitter and Instagram, with 2,000 having confirmed their attendance and 5,000 saying they might attend. So
that's 2,000 people wearing VR goggles?
Yeah, pretty much.
Damn.
Yeah, so they confirmed their attendance and say that 5,000 might attend. So
that's a lot of kilowatts.
Isn't it wild though, like to think that, I mean, dude, it's becoming such a norm where like I hear people like buying VR goggles because they want to be in the metaverse. I'm like, fuck, man. Like, isn't this? It's just crazy to really think that this is really happening now to where it's a real thing. Like, we can just say, fuck this world. Let's go into the VR world and say what we can do over there, and we can link up, me and you, just be walking around the metaverse and just kind of like strolling along and just doing what we do in there. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'm kind of curious now. I think at this point to see how what's they're doing inside there.
Yeah, the way I see it, I mean, I know that there's trouble that's bound to happen, but I actually like it. I mean, when I first heard the concept of the metaverse, right?
Yeah.
VR, before they were calling it metaverse, they were calling it VR. Um, and the idea of being able to throw on these goggles and then you could literally see people like next to you that are thousands of miles away. I was just thinking for industry, right? We have all these people, excuse me, COVID cough, um, that, that have been working remotely, right?
Hmm.
And a lot of offices are like, hey, this isn't really working. We want people to come back to the office. Well, shit, if you can throw on goggles, and basically we can have a meeting, and it looks like I'm right next to you. Wouldn't that be better? I mean, wouldn't that be better for the roads, the traffic, the gas,
The
the
gas.
everything?
Yeah.
Like that's what I see in it. I see people like say I'm in oh, I don't know. What's something I can make fun of? Say somewhere in like a state. What's a state that really sucks? Well,
If I'm gonna say one out the blue, and I say that it sucks. I'm just saying the first one comes on Michigan.
Michigan. Okay, yeah, we'll just go with Michigan. I don't know. No
Shout out to
states
people from
suck, by the
Michigan.
way.
Yeah,
No,
no state
other
sucks.
than no, I won't say it. Anyway, other than the state of depression, the
So we'll
state
leave
of
it at
depression
that. We'll
sucks.
leave it.
No, okay. Say you're in Puerto Rico, right?
Okay.
Say you're someone who lived in the mainland and then you moved to Puerto Rico for better taxes, right? And you're like, but man, the church that I went to, I really loved my church in Seattle,
Hmm.
and I want to go to that church. So say say they have it, they set up a metaverse, to where you could literally go to church at anywhere in the world that you want. Say you're a Buddhist, right? And you're just like, man, I want to get on some Buddhist shit, So here you are in the metaverse Buddha land. And like how amazing is that?
Yeah.
I'm a contrarian by nature, and I'm not thinking about all the crazy shit like the indoctrination and the propaganda and all the toxicity that is going to come with the metaverse, especially being that Mark Zuckerberg's at the helm and he's
Yeah.
destroyed so many lives with Facebook. But I'm also an optimist, and I think that when it comes to productivity and just in general way of life, that getting in the metaverse, we need something to get us away from the daily anxieties that we are facing. We need this, we need something to go to. Now, it's not going to be for everyone, but for the people that it's going to help a lot of people. It's going to help. I mean, imagine being a therapist and being able to have your, you know, I don't know, there's so many sweet
Yeah.
things that I see. I see so many positive things to come out of this.
Yeah, I think it's more beneficial the more and more we think about it, and I'm with you on that. I mean, especially the fact of just the comfort of your home. You don't have to travel anywhere anymore. Like if they implement this within jobs, let's say with jobs, right? You have to get up in the morning anymore. You have to get up in the morning, but like not drive to work, and then that way it will free up the space at work where the employer will actually save money from not having to rent out all this space. Maybe they can do more contributions in regards to like employee training or whatever. Like you would think stuff like good stuff that would benefit definitely the employees. So it would be on the more side note of being a positive thing, I guess you can say, right? And I don't doubt that that's where it's going to move to. I think they're going to try to implement that with a lot of the employers out there, just a lot of the businesses or just companies out there, and they might offer that. Maybe like you'll work from home, but if we need you to attend this virtual meeting, you're gonna have to see you in the metaverse over here, and be in here for an hour or so or whatever, and just slip on
Mm-hmm.
those VR goggles, and there you go. You're with
You,
your
yeah,
team and
I
blah blah blah.
what really attracts me to the metaverse, and you know it's surprising because again I'm surprising myself because I'm such a contrarian
Yeah,
to
yeah,
this technology and all this stuff. But I mean, I picture what if I say like a Friday night, right? Instead of going out, like, hey, I want to go to a comedy club. Boom, throw on your VR, pay your $20 admission
yeah.
to go see a comedy show, and instead of really being there, like the one funny it was a satire site that I think you sent it to me or maybe I sent it to you, I don't know, but it was the first shooting, like a mass
Oh.
shooting in the metaverse, and they said like 11 people died,
or something like that. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, but there's no risk, right, of getting in any fist fights. There's no risk of violence, right? You're going in there. I mean, I guess the risk is that we've seen in other stories in the metaverse where you can, I guess, get groped, but I mean, if
Like, how
that's
do you know that? How? Like,
That's-
really? Like, I don't get. I'm sorry, but
Oh.
that's just a joke to me. Like I don't know. But the flip side though, like we were talking about, right? Past preview episode again. Go check it out. I forgot what episode number. I don't remember what episode number was. But anyways, would they be able to punish that person in real life if that really went down, and then the police were involved within the metaverse, and then in real life, hey, we're gonna send you to, I don't know, 6 months in jail for that.
I guess if it were like two people from the same jurisdiction, like same country,
Yeah.
you could. But if I'm like, say I'm, in the club
Yeah.
and some Russian gropes me, you know,
Jesus.
what am I gonna do? Run to Putin? What's he gonna do? He's gonna be like, toughen up,
They execute your avatar instead of the person, or the person that actually did it or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
or Putin just launches a nuke on me.
Oh,
What's the
my
worst that could happen?
Oh, dude, yeah. I mean, aside from that, though, like definitely, I think this is a positive thing, moving into the right direction with a lot of benefits, and I would think more pros than anything for now. I mean, obviously things do change along the way, and we won't know until we really put ourselves in that situation. So I think time will tell at this point, right? Where how this is going to play out and how would it affect everybody's daily life. And I don't know, man. I mean, it's happening. I mean, this thing's gonna be full-fledged, implemented in people's lives some way, somehow, somehow. So I mean,
pay-per-view, right? Instead
Yeah.
of watching pay-per-view in your home with all your friends, you've got 20 VR goggles and you got all
Dude.
the friends and you guys are ringside, or you got the best seats in the house. And imagine the parties that would happen then. Like we're all ringside
Oh,
watching,
dude.
like, what's his name? Paul Logan.
Yeah, Paul Logan. Paul Logan. Yeah,
Yeah,
close enough.
we're,
Close
we're
enough.
ringside at a Paul Logan fight.
I know that's definitely something you would want to do for sure, bro. Yeah, well, definitely the Tiptics will be in the house for sure for that, man. But yeah, man. I mean, but the other thing that I wanted to tie in with that is, so check this out, right? Imagine this, the metaverse with Chinese characteristics. That's how the virtual world that everyone's talking about will likely look in the world's second largest economy. China's technology giants are beginning to invest in the metaverse, the latest buzzword in internet technology. It's a term with no concrete definition, but largely taken to mean virtual worlds that people will be playing and living in. Censorship will likely be rife and regulation tight as Beijing continues to keep close check on the practices of its domestic technology firms. U.S. firms like Facebook, parent Meta, are going all in on the metaverse concept, and while Microsoft has positioned its proposed acquisition of gaming company Activision as a play on this theme, Chinese firms are taking a more cautious approach. So, what are they up to, and how long will regulation play, and the investment that they're pushing towards for this as in this whole opportunity of the metaverse? $8 trillion.
Wow.
Insane.
Unheard of. And so they're paying all that money.
Yeah.
And if I were to go into the Chinese metaverse, I couldn't wear a free Hong Kong shirt or a Taiwan as a sovereign nation shirt.
Oh, dude, your avatar would disappear. Your avatar would
would be a
disappear. We
ghost.
wouldn't see you anymore.
Censored.
Just offline, like just nothing.
Yeah, you lose 20 social credit points.
Jesus, dude.
Oh, shit.
Man, 8 trillion though. I think that's what kind of that really shocked me from that. It's like 8, man, that's a lot of fucking money, dude. And
That
I
is,
bet you that's like
dude.
whatever money to them. Like, all right, fuck it, 8 trillion.
That's
Boom. There you go.
like, let's see, we're 30 trillion in debt. So
That's a good little amount.
That's almost like 30% of our national debt.
And they're fucking spending it on this
in the
shit on the meta.
YOLO, dude. That's amazing. Oh my god.
Yeah, we wouldn't do that. We ain't balling like that. We're more in debt than anything. So it's like,
Yeah,
we're,
my
we need to-
rubles ain't getting me shit.
Oh,
Rubles is
dude.
the Russian currency, just so you know.
For people that don't know, right? No, I think it's crazy though. That's there's a lot of going into this, man, and it's going to be a huge deal. I think the more and more as time goes, when time flies by, it's like we keep hearing about these, you know, how many people are really in, or just not want to say people, just groups are really investing into this and making this more of like a actual thing where they're going to really try to implement this on in everybody's lives some way, somehow, you know? So I'm very curious to see though, as time goes, like, what else are they gonna like? Are employers gonna use this, you know, like within their, you know, employees and all that?
What about schools?
Or schools? Yeah, exactly. What about schools? Like they might do that, right? People say, kids, hey, we're gonna go to class meeting. We're gonna slide on those VR goggles, and we're gonna go to English class. Boom, there you go.
Yep.
You're in your class.
So, you know, the
Hey,
people
man.
are going to be most sad about that are the manufacturers of bulletproof backpacks.
Oh shit! Yeah, I heard about that. Wow, man, and it's crazy to even think that that's like a legit thing. It's sad, man.
It's
It is a
sad.
sad
It
deal.
is
It is
sad.
it is very unfortunate that we have to move towards that. But yeah, it would be no bueno for them either, bro. But yeah, I mean, aside from that, bro, that's pretty much what I got on deck for today's
That's it, huh?
episode. I think we really plowed through this episode like a snowplow back in December on heavy fucking snowstorm. So yeah, it's wild, man.
We're in Miami in the summer.
Yeah, the winter storm, but it's
I heard
summer in
there's
Miami, baby.
Quite a bit of snow in Miami in the summer.
Definitely, man. But with that being said, we're gonna check out. We're gonna wrap this one up for this time on the Tip Diction Podcast. But as always, go check us out on Instagram at the Tip Diction Podcast, where you find all the latest clips, all the latest posts in regards to, you know, yours truly here, the Dynamic Duo. And also click the link there. We're available on pretty much every streaming platform: Spotify, Apple Podcasts, TuneIn FM Radio, YouTube, all that jazz. So we're gonna wrap this one up. Till then, we love you. Take care. Have an awesome Friday, awesome weekend. We'll catch you in the next one. And hopefully my boy has a safe trip out to, you know, DC, and we'll catch him then. So we got something cool planned out for the next episode while in his absence. So I'll take care of all of you. But till then, peace.